Take better care of your consciousness. Take better care of your inner being, of your inner self. Take better care of understanding your beliefs, of perceiving things in a way that helps you. Take better care of the thoughts that you allow to run through your system. Take better care of where you place yourself, who you open up to, of what you're attracting to yourself. Because I think the great awakening that we're all going through is, attracting better things to ourselves that, weren't possible yesterday or last week or in the last lifetime. A lot of us are the ones, breaking barriers for our bloodlines. And a lot of us are black sheep and, went through a lot of this world, being told a lot of shit that, just didn't make sense. Just didn't really make sense, but you just kind of had to just buy it because, you got to get in line and get your graham crackers and, you gotta get the degree and you gotta get the job and you gotta have the kids, you gotta get the mortgage, 401k, all that good shit. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with any of that. That is definitely all part of a strategic life. But what I am saying is that if you've been force fed, or if you're allowing yourself to get force fed because you really only want to eat if it's something that you want to eat. Why would you eat something that you don't want to eat? But yet that's a thing. That's like, we're at a buffet here. The universe is plugged into our head. And, you get to choose what the fuck you're trying to eat. And, it can be easy to feel like, oh, I can have this, but I can't have that. Or, just not allowing yourself to reach for it in your own head. But how are you going to ever have something that you don't claim for yourself, that you don't desire for yourself and make clear to yourself and the universe that is what you want, and don't tolerate the other shit? Because why would you tolerate some shit in your life that makes it anything less than the best that it can possibly be? Because we're alive, we're human, we're conscious enough to be right here, sitting here on this fucking phone with the Wi-Fi and the, me, I got Fortnite going, whatever the fuck type shit you on, get to spend your days doing that shit. And it can all be better is another way to put it. It can all be better, bruh. Like, it can be better than your wildest imagination, And not only can it, but it should. It just comes down to our ability to use our shit the right way, to take care of our shit, Take care of your mind, take care of the thoughts, Go around this world, you see something, be like, man, fuck that. I be seeing shit all the time. I be like, fuck that. Because you can't let that shit in, man. You let that shit in, ruin your foundation. Ruin the shit that you got going. Or it could be like you got some things going the right way that you want. But, the world's appearing to you in a way, that you're not fucking with. You're literally allowed to be like, nah, I don't fuck with this situation. I fuck with it to be this way. And caring about yourself through the process. That'd be the main thing, is like taking your attention and then putting it on the right shit. So like, you going through something, of course you want it the right way, but you can also move your mind in a way to where you are still going through that shit in the background, but that shit's like a background program that you just have faith in that's running. You know, like, oh, that background program, you know, it's already obvious the way that I want that shit to go. Okay, what's in front of me? This shit. All right, I'm gonna do what's in front of me, and just try to like put my shit into that. You know, just put your shit into that shit in front of you that is right for you. That's right for you, which might not be right for somebody else. You know, and that's something that I had to sit right with. You know, something we all gotta sit right with. Is like, yo, like, that shit that's for me, it's not for them, bro. You know, it reminds me of running around, you know, seeing people in the city, you know, want to talk to me about this and that, get me in on some type of something. But like, bro, where's the Carfax? You know, I don't know you. You know, shit, it don't matter where you go, to be honest. That's just kind of how it is. Like, you don't know nobody, and even if you the type of person to want to sit down and try to get to know somebody, like, you still only know the shit that they telling you. You know, I learned that shit in jail. You know, motherfuckers can sit and just run their fucking mouth all day, bruh. They should be making a YouTube, you know what I'm saying, and just talking their shit. But how many of them will? You know, my heart goes out to hopefully more of them. You know, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to influence, you know, someone with some value, because, you know, I think that's what we're here to do, is just give value and shit, you know. Anyways, take good care of your consciousness, you know. Take good care of your consciousness. What ideas are you choosing to hold on to? You know, what are you choosing to accept for yourself in your own life? And it doesn't even have to be accept or not accept in the sense of like you gotta do something. Because this world is more than just doing shit. You know, it's got a lot to do with just your intentions. It's got a lot to do with your desires, your do's and don'ts, you know, your own preferences. And then, you know, it's energy behind us that be leading us along. Crazy shit that like you don't really understand. I don't think we're supposed to even try to understand. I could sit here and try to explain it for forever and, you know, still not totally hit it, which is what makes this human experience so fun. Is like we're all in a state of amnesia to an extent, so like gotta be reminded this shit often. Gotta be reminded, you know, of just how important it is to just take good care of your consciousness, and don't feel wrong for it, you know. Just because I'm not so-so, just because you're not so-so and doing what so-so says, doesn't mean that you're not a valid person with your own fucking desires, you know. It was after I was listening to certain shit where it's like you just start to realize that the universe is like, it's like, you want this, okay. You want this, okay. Want a new tattoo, okay. Want a new place, okay. Want to just enjoy your days playing video games, okay. You know, and you just hold on to the shit, and you just don't let that shit go, you know. You just hold on to that shit and don't let that shit go. And love yourself through the process, because this world will love you. This world will love you if you love it. I think it'll give you reasons to be happy and shit, you know. But when I say take care of your consciousness, I just mean like, what are you holding on to, bruh? You know, hold on to that shit that you like, and then watch it evolve, and like just don't ever let go of that shit that you like, and like watch it, like, you know, watch your fucking marbles, you know, watch your jewels that are inside your treasure chest. You don't just want to give them bitches out, you know. I mean, you do if you want to get value. Value's important, super important, you know. All day long we're just getting value, you know. I got a phone, you know, got a TV, got the games, got a place, you know, got some entertainment and shit. It's like, it's important to also give back any way that I fucking can, and that helps me, and that'll probably help you, probably help the next man. So just give that shit, man. You want to give it, you want to give as good as you can, and take good care of your consciousness, man. See, because what the world won't tell you is that if you don't believe in yourself, no one will. Like, what the world won't tell you is that you simply believing in yourself creates that ability for that reality to come to you. You dig? Like, you believing in a certain reality gives it that much percentage chance to come to you. But what's even further past that on a greater meta is like, all you believe in is the only way it can go, you know? That's why it's like, when you see, when you see someone somewhere, it's like, even if that's where they didn't want to be, at one point, they still in their mind was just like resolute with like, this is how it has to be, you know? Like the person down the street working at 7-Eleven, it's like, that in their head, they came across a situation and was like, working here is what I have to do. And if that's the case, cool. Like, I'm not knocking nothing. I'm not knocking nobody for nothing. So if you are that person down at 7-Eleven, just do that shit the right way. You just pull up, get the job done, have a good vibe about you, try to enjoy the scenery as much as you can. Try to put your attention on the shit, that you want to keep seeing. That's been my big thing, is like, and that's a big deal that I want to push on in all of these videos, is like, but you gotta hold on to that shit. You gotta hold on to what you want to keep seeing. You gotta fervently keep your attention on that shit, bro. Ferociously. That's another way that you care for yourself, bro. Ferociously, just keeping your mind locked in on what the fuck type of shit you want to see happen, Otherwise, you might get your mind trapped into the infinite fucking scams and shit this world be throwing at you, man. It be scams you ain't even know it's scams. I'm not saying scams, and everything is good. There's a ton of good deals, there's a ton of good opportunities, but you gotta find them, and if you don't find them, then you better know that a scammer's coming, type shit. Better find that shit. Yeah, find it, man. Find those opportunities, bro. They're out there. Shorty, sister, brother, sister in God. They're out there. Them opportunities is out there, man. They're actually in here first, Because, like, I've seen money come without the need of a job. I've seen money come without the need of anything, really. Like, I've seen money come in ways that you couldn't fathom. And that's why it's like, I just think that the world is a lot different than any one human will ever be able to let you know. It's more of like, when you look at the whole thing, is when you start to understand what life can be, and is. And what life can be and is what you make it with your perspective and your attention and your belief and your faith and your own ideals, your own I amness, as the people I be listening to be saying. There's a few YouTubers I got in mind, I might talk about, some what I like from some of their stuff, but I'm just trying to push my own variant. I'm trying to push the stuff that helps, So again, take good care of your consciousness, man. Take good care of, your sleep patterns, your physical human avatar. Make sure that motherfucker is, happy, and then with your consciousness, just think as many just amazing thoughts as you can. Create the most amazing images as you can. If you're into that type of shit, or just look at it online. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, if you look at the houses, if you look at the cars, if you look at the watches, if you look at the SPs, if you look at the anything really, like, that just puts you closer in the ballpark of getting it, you know? Like, or if you look at the bullshit, if you look at the weirdos, if you look at the freaks, if you look at the poverty, if you look at the wars, if you look at the fucking news, then man, you gonna get some bullshit. Cause let me tell you, bro, you know, I'm sure y'all have been there, cause I have, you know, and I'm just trying to relate to the people who relate to me. You know, like, if you focus on bullshit at all, you know, you're gonna get some bullshit, bro. Just because we powerful creatures, bro. Very powerful beings, man. It's like, I can't focus on, you know, my negative desires for very long, bro. Because then they start to just appear in front of me, and I'm like, ooh, that shit's crazy. But it's like that another way, too, you know? Like, if it's something good, you know, and that shit finally comes to you and you're like, damn, that shit's crazy. You know, this life shit always gonna have some tone of craziness. That's kind of like part of life, you know. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but what I'm getting at is like, it's change. It's change, and change is so all-encompassing that nothing can avoid it. You know, you can't sit in your room and avoid change. You know, you can't you can't go to jail and avoid change. You know, you can't die and avoid change. You can't do anything and avoid change, man. Change is coming, man. Change is everywhere. And that's kind of our saving grace as human entities. It's like, if it's always changing and we have the ability to hold shit up here, then we have the ability to alter the way that it changes. And with that in mind, man, just take good care of yourself, man, because, you know, we get to a point that we like it, we hold it down and we enjoy it, and then it changes again. And sometimes the changing, you know, it doesn't always look exactly, you know, how you'd want it to, or, you know, maybe not on the time frame, or maybe like there's another step, or I don't know, man, because I'm still caught between the idea of that and like we create it all, you know, like it's all us, and like whatever way we want it to go, oh, you know, I just got a new pair of J's, you know, and I sit here and I think about I got a new pair of shoes, you know. I truly believe that if I was to sit here and think about that and never let go of it, it would just fucking come to me some way, somehow. So, you know, I just say that to say that, you know, there's energy that is doing shit for us, and then there's also our own intentions combined, and we just want to take care of both of it, you know. We want to take care of the energy that's taking care of us. We want to take care of our own desires, and just, you know, take care of your consciousness, homie. Don't be just taking in that random shit, especially in today's day and age, bro. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody got an opinion, and that shit is everywhere, and everybody's right, you know. But whoever's right you take is what's going to affect your experiences, and you can create your own. That's why I stopped listening to most motherfuckers on this shit, because I don't need somebody to tell me this or tell me that. Like, I'm the exception, and so are you. We're literally all exceptions, you know. So when a motherfucker comes to you and says it has to be this way, no, it doesn't. No, it fucking doesn't, bro. There's another way that it could be, you know. And there's some systems and institutions that have systems in place that you have to go through. There's still ways through it and around it, bro. I'm telling you, like, there's ways for it to be moved around, for mountains that you never thought were gonna move, you know, especially when you just set your intention and just keep living your life, you know. And that's all we trying to do is just live life to the fullest over here. You know, we're just trying to do it right. You know, do the right thing, all that good shit. And take care of your consciousness, bruh. Sis, take care of that shit. Peace.